Fox 5 News live on the road at the Miramar Air Show. Presented tonight by Postal Annex and the Warrior Foundation.
Pilots, planes, and fire-breathing dinosaurs. It's the world-famous Miramar Air Show. From an exclusive look at the most advanced fighter jet in the world to the crowd favorite Robosaurus. Plus, the secret weapon at Miramar that helped win a war. All on Fox 5 News at 6, live on the road. And good evening. I'm Kathleen Vade, and we are, in fact, live from the world-famous Miramar Air Show on opening day.
Oh, my goodness. I'm Erica Fox, and do we have it in store for you tonight? We've got our Jen Carlman. She's standing by along the flight line where all the aircraft land and take off. We also have our Lauren Nancaro in the studio with all of the news of the day.
There's a lot to get to, but before we get to those guys, we want to tell you what we're going to be doing from here and sort of set the scene, because we have a very unique, in fact, unprecedented view of the Miramar Air Show. We are on a cargo riser. We're 20 feet up in the air as we speak, and we've got all this military might behind us from around the world, in fact, and we're going to take you through all that static aircraft that you and your family can tour throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, if you're afraid of heights, this is not the spot for you at all.
Or if you're clumsy, we've got a few close calls.
All right, we're going to be taking an inside look at the F-22 Raptor. This is the pride and joy of the Air Force. It wasn't here last year. It was here a few years back, but there's a lot of excitement around that. We're also going to be showing you the Robosaurus. So this is like a transformer-like dinosaur. It actually spits fire and can crush a car or a plane. We're going to be showing you more, and that's really exciting. We're also going to be taking you inside some Marine Corps lingo. You know how they speak that language here on the base? It's like, what are they saying? We're going to explain it to you.
Yeah, it's one acronym after another, and it means absolutely nothing to me. So I'm going to be paying attention for that pop quiz. Well, something else that is a frequently asked question here, I talked about all these aircraft behind us. Well, they always have Marines and pilots posted around answering questions for everyone. And the most popular one is, how did you become a pilot? So today, we'll take you on that path from college to the cockpit and how you can become one of the best or one of these elite pilots, which are so impressive. And we also have a bit of a history lesson, a secret weapon right here at Miramar that helped win World War II.
But first, we want to turn things over to our Jen Carlman. She's standing by live along the flight line with
way
all
out there.
the sights. Yeah, she's way back there. All the sights and the sounds of the first day show. Hey, Jen.
Hey, ladies, man, I tell you, fire-breathing dragons and Robosauruses, I am in. This is such a great show for the family. This year did not disappoint. It's quiet now, which actually doesn't happen very often at the air show. The stands behind me are quiet. That's because the show ended a little bit ago, but in front of me, actually, as Jay-Z turns around, you see the Blue Angels. They are a favorite of the show every year. They're getting fueled. Each of those fighter jets, by the way, takes 10,000 pounds of fuel, which is about 1,400 gallons. Imagine their gas bill. So, ladies, it was such an incredible day today. Of course, we were out on the flight line. We were talking to people, and, of course, we have the best of the best video. Take a look. There aren't many things that draw as many oohs and ahs as the Miramar Air Show. The sounds are deafening, but the sights are oh so cool. The Blue Angels were once again a crowd pleaser, dancing in the sky at 1,200 miles an hour.
It's great. It's really impressive.
It wouldn't be an air show without some serious explosions and fire. The flight line lit up thanks to the MAGTF demo, or Marine Air Ground Task Force. Off the flight line, the fans could get up close and personal with the Marines, sailors and soldiers, and pilots themselves. What's the question you get asked the most often at the show?
Is there a rocket inside?
And your answer is?
No, there's not.
As the world is right now, it's very important, in my opinion, that we keep our military strong, and I think it's very important that young people see that.
To let them know what we do. Let them know that we're not just sitting around. Their money's being well spent.
Besides all of these really incredible aircraft, one of the coolest parts of the air show is actually the weather. A few showers sent people scrambling for shelter, which, though unconventional, wasn't hard to find.
They don't seem to be fazed by it. They seem to be enjoying it, so I guess it's fine.
In the clouds is where Brad Woodard and his team of Navy leapfrogs prepared for their demonstration. They call it the hop and pop, because once they hop, they pop their parachutes.
You can't really do that in a lot of branches in the military without a lot of training like we've done. So when we jump out of 2,000, we are a little more on our toes. We don't get nervous. You're just more anxious to get out of the plane. So at 2,000 feet, the chute opens quick and the ground comes fast.
Good way to put it. The ground comes fast. If you want to come out to see the air show, we certainly would love to see you. It runs tomorrow and Sunday from 9 to 4. By the way, there's a twilight show tomorrow at 5:30. It runs until 9. Directions, parking rules, you know where you can find it all on our website, Fox 5 San Diego. Just click on the Scene On tab. And Kathleen and Erica, two last things that make this year extra special. The Marines are celebrating 50 years of space flight. It was in 1962 that John Glenn orbited the Earth for the first time. And they're also celebrating 100 years of aviation in the Marines. So for that, I say cheers on this Friday. Ladies, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. And yeah, it all really began right here in Naval Aviation in San Diego, so we really have a lot to be proud of. Now, Jen showed you everything that was happening today, and there's so much to take in, but probably two of the most talked about and popular things, or attractions you could call them, is that Robosaurus that she mentioned, that fire-breathing, I guess it kind of looks like a T-Rex, and also the F-22 Raptor.
Exactly. These are two must-sees at the air show. Let's see why. The F-22 Raptor is a stealth air superiority fighter unmatched by any other fighter, according to the Air Force. It utilizes combined air-to-air and air-ground combat capabilities and is highly maneuverable. The Raptor's engines provide more thrust than any other fighter, about 35,000 pounds per engine. It's had its fair share of issues, problems with the pilot oxygen systems. The Air Force making upgrades to the backup oxygen system and increasing airflow to pilots. The maximum speed is estimated at Mach 1.5 plus without afterburners, allowing the aircraft to conserve fuel. With afterburners, greater than Mach 2 or twice the speed of sound. 1,400 miles per hour, depending on the altitude. It can perform extremely high angles of attack maneuvers and costs about $143 million. Also on the list of air show must-sees, the civilian-owned Robosaurus, known as the world's largest transformer. In less than 2 minutes, it can go from a semi-truck to a 40-foot-tall dinosaur. It uses hydraulical arms and claws operated by a pilot who sits inside the cranium. The Robosaurus shoots 20-foot flames from its nose and can crush a car or plane using 28,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. Robosaurus, 30 tons of car-crushing, fire-breathing, jaw-dropping entertainment.
And obviously from that display, you can see that it takes a lot of planning and coordination to pull this world-famous air show off. And joining me now is Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Freeze, who is also the XO here at MCAS Miramar, to kind of talk about this year's theme and what it takes to get this thing up and running every year. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to meet you, sir. Let's talk about this year's air show theme. Our Jen Carlman mentioned it. I don't think when we think Marines, we think space. How did this come together?
You know, this is actually the 100th year centennial of Marine Corps aviation, but we really had the naval aviation 100 years last year. So this year we wanted to honor those Marines that we've had in space, especially John Glenn and General Bolden, who are two obviously prominent figures in our society. But we wanted to show a little respect for the Marines we've had in space.
Yeah, that's impressive. And there are obviously people that continue to do. He went back up into space, John Glenn, at the age of 70, so an extraordinary man. man. Well, let's talk about probably what is one of the biggest coordinated efforts that you guys take such pride in, and that's one of those Marine acronyms called MAGTF. Tell us what that stands for and what people can see.
You bet. The Marine Air Ground Task Force. Again, that's the basic unit that we go to war with the Marine Corps. So that's our 911 force. And with the MAGTF, what we're showing you is an integrated air and ground force that is logistically self-sustaining and really goes out there, and that's how we win the battles that we fight in.
So it's the coordination of sky and ground forces,
exactly,
correct?
Exactly. That integration with the logistic support and a command element is really what makes our MAGTFs.
And you know, how do you coordinate that? So there must be incredible amounts of communication between the air and the sky. I mean, what's going on in the radios when we're seeing all this?
You'd be surprised. It's actually rather quiet because a lot of it is really down to timing, a lot of practice, and a lot of what we call chair flying. So we've gone through these maneuvers, done what needs to be done well prior to even stepping into the airplane. So once it's out there, it's just on the clock. Everybody knows where they are, and that's how we execute it.
How many air shows would you say you have taken in? You've watched?
That I've watched. Well, I have a 21-year career, and I've probably watched at least 21. Not all obviously here at Miramar, but I always try to catch an air show wherever I am.
And I ask that because I'm curious from someone with your perspective, your sense of history, and the progression of the military might and how it's transformed over the years. What is your favorite? Most of us are like, oh, I got to see the Blue Angels. Oh, I got to see this. What is it that you find the most spectacular when you come out here?
I mean, obviously, as a pilot, I always love airplanes, so it doesn't matter what airplane's flying. That's what I love to watch, be it Sean Tucker in the Oracle biplane or be it the Blue Angels. So if you ask me which my favorite is, I love watching some of the old airplanes because really the sound that you hear of the radial engines, it's just impressive to see those airplanes fly and just the technology we had back then to make something like that fly.
Yeah, it's incredible. I was looking at just this B-52 bomber behind us and that sense of history right there, and it's still in operation today. What do you want people who are going to be heading out here to this air show to know and expect what they can see?
Well, love to have them here as early as possible. Obviously, there are always traffic concerns. We take security and safety, highest precautions we have, so that sometimes delays the traffic a little bit. But we'd love to have people here as early as they can. Remember, we have a website, MiramarAirShow.com, and they can see everything they can bring or shouldn't bring to the air show.
Well, sir, Lieutenant Colonel, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you
for your time, and really thank you for your service as well. We are so appreciative to have you as a neighbor and a member of the community.
Thank you very much.
All right, and the good thing you have working for you this weekend is the weather. It is so beautiful. It's twilight right now, and Aloha is standing by with a look at your forecast for the rest of the weekend. And Aloha, there's that twilight show tomorrow night, and if it's even close to this, it's going to be magnificent.
Yeah, it should be magnificent, Kathleen. Welcome back, Fox 5's special coverage of the Miramar Air Show. If you're wondering how high we are up on this platform, this is a good indication right here. It's a staircase up to our 20-foot high platform, so you have a bird's eye view of the entire air show, and what a view it really is.
Yeah, we asked for a room with a view, and we got one. We thank them so much here at Miramar for that, this movable cargo riser. Let's hope they keep it here. Stay put for at least the next hour, right? Well, we want to tell you what's coming up in this very special edition of Fox 5 News at 6 live on the road. This Marine Corps lingo that this woman here knows very well. She's married to a pilot. We're going to kind of break it down and give a pop quiz to see if you can understand what our neighbors here at Miramar are talking about, because I can't half the time. And also we're going to take that very important journey, an interesting one, the path to becoming a pilot. When you go from college to the cockpit, how do you get there and become one of these elite fighter pilots?
Then once a top secret weapon now declassified, we're going to be taking you inside this secret code that apparently helped win a war. We're going to be explaining more about that in just a bit, but in the meantime, over to Lauren Nancaro. He's in the Fox 5 studios with more on what's happening in the news. Hey, Lauren.
Roger Wilco to my lady newscasters. You look good out there. A memorial service for one of the 3 San Diegans killed in the attack in Libya last month is underway, and it's happening right now in Encinitas. Friends, family members, and neighbors of former U.S. Navy SEAL Glenn Doherty are gathering outside Doherty's former home in Encinitas. It's on Rodney Avenue. That's where he lived. It's blocked off for the event. A total of 4 Americans were killed in the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, that happened on September 11th. Well, fed up with crime, a special volunteer citizen patrol will be helping San Diego police patrol the streets of Ocean Beach tonight. Volunteers plan to meet at Tower 2 Cafe on Santa Monica Boulevard at 9 p.m. before splitting up into groups of 3 or more. But the volunteers won't be reacting to the crimes or confronting criminals themselves.
Our job is not to take action. Like, we're not vigilantes. We call the police. The police know what we're up to. They have our backs.
Now, organizers say continuing the patrols beyond this weekend is a possibility depending on how successful they are this weekend. Well, the Space Shuttle Endeavour is on its last mission to the California Science Center. The shuttle left LAX early this morning. Endeavour flew 25 missions in space, and people are calling it the 26th mission. The 12-mile journey to the Science Center is the shortest distance the shuttle has ever traveled. It's scheduled to arrive at the Science Center tomorrow night. Well, space just happens to be the theme of this year's air show. Let's go back out to Kathleen and Erica for more.
Yeah, and we're kind of up in the stratosphere, getting kind of close. We're 20 feet up on a riser and have this gorgeous view here for our special edition of Fox 5 News at 6. Thanks, Lauren, so much. Now, the most frequently asked question you'll hear on the tarmac when people are getting to view all these aircrafts, that there's so many back here to look at, the history is phenomenal, is how do you become a pilot?
And I take an inside look, taking you step by step at what you need to do to become one of the folks that fly these aircraft. So you want to fly one of these, or maybe this one. How about that? How do you begin? It starts in college. Staff Sergeant Jeremy Murray is in the process right now at SDSU.
I think it's just something I always wanted to do since I was a kid, and in high school it's kind of been a long-term goal.
Military pilot hopefuls take an extensive aviation test and have to do well.
It's very challenging, especially with the downsizing of the military. The scores are just becoming more competitive, as well as their grade point average and their physical fitness tests.
Next.
From here, I'll go to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia. Then after that, I would go ahead and get into the pipeline for flight training. So I go to Pensacola and do the flight training there.
So once you go through flight school, there's a selection process, and you choose which aircraft you are based on how you do in your flight school class.
You can select jets, helicopters, Ospreys, or C-130s. If you select Cobras after you've spent time in Pensacola at primary flight school, you'll come out here to Camp Pendleton and learn how to actually fly it.
So this is basically the kind of the walk of the crawl, walk, run of the flying for the Marine Corps. This is kind of the walk phase where you learn to do just the basic stuff and learn how to do it well.
This particular aircraft appeals to me. It's the one I wanted to fly because we are in direct support of all of the ground Marines, and that's what I'm here to do.
Once the training is complete, it's on to an operational squadron that can deploy. The entire process takes several years, but they say it's well worth it.
My favorite part of flying it is you get to go off and for 2 to 4 hours just go and fly around and see what I don't normally get to see.
With a lot of hard work and stick-to-itiveness.
It takes a lot of perseverance to stay with it.
Those who do stay with it can make it happen.
If you want it, you can earn it. Just work hard.
And just so you know, right now, as the sun is setting, we are hearing colors playing in the background. I don't know if you can really hear, but all the service members around us just stood at attention in the direction of the flag. So that's one of the feels and the sights and sounds that you're going to experience on the base.
Yeah, it really makes you feel very prideful to be an American, and we certainly wanted to pay our respects since we're in a compromising position. We can't stand like we'd want to. We do have a lot more coming your way in this very special edition of Fox 5 News at 6, live from the Miramar Air Show. We hope you stick around. We're going to welcome back. You are getting a unique perspective, kind of a behind-the-scenes look of Fox 5 News at 6 live on the road from opening day of the Miramar Air Show. We've been broadcasting since the top of the 6 o'clock hour, and we'll go all the way to 7 o'clock, and we have a lot to share with you this evening.
Once you're on the base, you're going to be hearing probably a lot of different types of language, a lot of acronyms, and we took an inside look at what all of this military lingo really means. I actually got a crash course. Call me brave or crazy or both, I don't know which, from a drill instructor. So if you like to be yelled at, this is the segment for you.
Get up straight, look at me right now, yeah! Get off my butt!
Marine Corps recruits are getting off the bus and straight into a culture shock, which includes a new language.
Once they get here, that's all they're going to hear, that terminology.
You will not ever black a hat.
Staff Sergeant and drill instructor Justin Hansen walks us through the lingo a bit more patiently than he might with a recruit.
You do what I say, and I will say to do it.
First, bulkhead.
Bulkhead is a wall.
To the bulkhead. The bulkhead. Aye, aye, sir. Aye, sir. Let's stick your stand. Yes, sir.
Let's stick is a pencil.
Ink stick is a pen. Tennis shoes?
Yes, sir.
Head is the restroom or bathroom. Rack is a bed. Trousers are pants.
Right thumb against the trousers. Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. The door is called a hatch.
Cover is a hat or something you wear on your head. Deck is the ground or floor.
The flashlight that you are seeing is going to call the flashlight. Call the movie. Yes, sir.
Skivvies or a skivvy shirt, like my white skivvy shirt, or your underwear.
Some have double meaning. Scuttlebutt can mean gossip, but it can also mean water fountain.
Windows here, porthole, yes, sir.
Porthole can also mean
They're going to be here for 3 months hearing the same things over and over again. And, you know, by the end of recruit training, that's all they're going to say. You know, their friends back home and their family's going to ask them, what do you mean bulkhead?
All right, ready to put it all together? Jump out of the rack, hit deck, and grab your cover and trousers hanging on the bulkhead. Put them over your skivvies, lace up your go fasters. Don't look out the porthole or listen to the scuttlebutt. Just get your moonbeam and ink stick and get out the hatch. Even only if you have time, you may use the head. Got it? Got it. Aye, aye, sir. What I'm about to do to you is so mean because I know you didn't hear that story because of the jet noise and the generator noise. But what is this? Do you remember what this is?
A pen?
Ink stick.
An ink stick.
Ink stick, yes, you got it. Very good.
Why is it not a pen? That's my question.
I don't know. It's just what they do. Hey, we want to show you real quickly a live look at all the action that's going on behind us. This is actually a T-45 trainer jet that was just flying a couple of minutes ago. You might have heard it at the beginning of the show, sort of zorched past us. It landed just a few minutes ago, and they're bringing it through the area right here where you can see all the different aircraft here at the air show. So they're tidying things up for the evening and getting ready for a big day tomorrow.
That's right, tucking all the aircraft in bed, so to speak, for the night, so they can open up bright and early tomorrow at 9 a.m. for all of you who may want to come down. Now, stick around for the rest of the show. We have so much more to come. In fact, this is a really unique history lesson that many San Diegans don't know about, so I hope my kids are watching right now. This is a good one for the classroom.
Yeah, we're going to tell you about a secret weapon that was used that actually helped win a war.
And it's big and fiery, and one of this year's biggest attractions. It's called the Robosaurus. And up next, meet the man behind the machine.
And record rainfall today.
And you're watching us live from the world-famous Miramar Air Show. We have taken Fox 5 News at 6 on the road. I'm Kathleen Babe.
And I'm Erica Fox. All right, we have teased you with it. I promise you, coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be talking with the man behind the Robosaurus. This is a 30-ton, car-crushing, fire-breathing, dinosaur-looking robot, and you're going to hear a whole lot more about it coming up in just a bit.
It can probably even bake a cake, as far as we know. We'll ask him coming up. Now, we often focus on, and rightfully so, the latest and greatest in technology that our military has and that they use in all the efforts around the world, because it is impressive. But sometimes it's the simple things that can become big game changers in wartime.
And a perfect example of that is this sort of secret code that was used back in World War II to help win the war. And to tell us more about that is our Jen Carlman. She's standing by along the flight line with a history lesson. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Erica and Kathleen, yeah, what a cool history lesson this is. Let me set the stage for you. It's 1942, a year after the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. America was really struggling in World War II, and they needed some help. So who did they turn to? The Native Americans, the Navajo specifically. That partnership would really change our history in this country, and they were so significant in the war effort, there was a movie made about them called Wind Talkers.
So jag är vi bygger one ashla reason it ha do bit
They were considered the secret weapon of World War II, the Navajo Code Talkers, a small group of 400 Native Americans
who spoke a language no one could crack.
To the Japanese, it was like speaking underwater, and it was impossible to encrypt by the Japanese themselves.
Staff Sergeant Ronaldo Jumbo holds this history close to his heart. The code talkers were his people, and his grandfather was one of them.
It was plain and simple with the Navajo code talkers themselves. They had one mission, that was one mission only, to send and receive messages secretly.
Marines called upon the Navajo after Pearl Harbor. You see, the Japanese had learned other Native American languages, but the Navajo tongue was so difficult to understand, it became the perfect weapon.
We grew up using, pitchforks.
This was totally foreign.
This is totally foreign to our people back then.
So, to familiarize themselves with Western war, the code talkers went through boot camp at MCRD and then basic training at Camp Elliott.
This is Camp Elliott. It's now called East Miramar, but the Marines still train here, just like they did 70 years ago.
The code talkers sent thousands of messages from 1942 to 1945 using phones like this one. Historians credit the Navajo for the victory at Iwo Jima and re-energizing Allied forces.
In my eyes, that regardless of the facts of what happened in our history, we still stood up and stood up for our country.
A country that is still using the skills of the Navajo during wartime.
We're proud of our heritage, and that's what we stand for. The Navajo code talkers themselves, set a really good example for those of us who are in the military as well.
What a cool story. The Navajo code talkers code itself remained classified until 1968. That's when the government finally declassified it. Then in 1982, President Ronald Reagan declared August 14th as the National Navajo Code Talker Day. Kathleen, they were really the silent heroes of World War II.
Well, that was a really cool piece of American history, and American it certainly is. Jen, thank you for bringing that to us. I hope our viewers enjoyed it. And something else that everyone will enjoy when they come out here, it's got to be one of the biggest attractions, although this guy said it is the biggest attraction. I'm talking about the Robosaurus, that transformer-like, fire-breathing, kind of T-Rex-looking thing. And this is Brooke Dunn. You're kind of the tour manager and agent of Robosaurus.
Yeah, I manage Robosaurus. I've been doing it for about 3 years.
Is he a diva?
He is more than a diva. In fact, he's in the green room. He demands shaved kiwi before every show. If it's not shaved, he won't eat it.
Let's talk about the anatomy of this thing. What is it capable of doing, and how large is it?
We weigh about 30 tons. We're 45 feet tall when we stretch up as high as we can. We are our own tractor trailer, so he transforms down. You see him going right down the freeway. We park, we discouple from the tractor, and we go up 45 feet in the air, and we can eat anything from airplanes to cars to kegs of beer. And we can crush 30,000 pounds of foot-pounds of pressure.
What does he plan on eating while he's here at Miramar?
Well, we've been starving him for the last 2 days, so we've got two-car runway that we're going to eat tomorrow. He's going to, fry him a little bit, probably break him in half, make him bite-sized, and then chomp him down.
So how do you operate this? Is this the ultimate cool remote control that a kid would dream about operating?
Well, actually, the guy who owns it's a kid at heart, but yes, it's remote control plus a pilot. There's actually someone in the head of Robo, and he's out there, and then we have crew four of the greatest guys you ever saw, and he has to pilot it, but he has very limited vision, because when Robo's looking up, he can't see down. So we have a video operator, so he's watching monitors, and it's a very complicated cockpit. You'd be shocked, and it gets very warm. Thank gosh, here it's a great day. It's San Diego, gorgeous weather, and everybody should come out and see it because it's going to be perfect tomorrow. How
much did it cost to put Robosaurus together, and how much does it cost to maintain something like that?
Well, it's expensive. We get 4 miles to the gallon when we transfer him, so you can do the math on that. And on top of that, we do about 10 hours of maintenance for every hour that we perform, so we're not a cheap act.
Now, when people come out here, he's also a movie star. Robosaurus is quite famous, so tell us about some of his credits.
Well, he's been in one of the greatest movies of all time. It got snubbed by the Oscars. It was called Waking Up in Reno with Patrick Swayze and Billy Bob Thornton. And the movie, was panned terribly. We've been on TV, The Tonight Show. We were on Pawn Stars. We've been on many programs. So sometimes we're a bit part. Sometimes we're a character in the show. And we made a Toyota commercial that was phenomenal. Robo can destroy everything, but evidently the truck in the commercial.
It's impressive. You're a native San Diegan. You said this was about the 5th time that you've come out here to the Miramar Air Show. What kind of reaction do you get from the crowd?
Oh, the 200,000 people, standing ovation. They love us. And we are the next to last act. It's the wall of fire after us. And the kids are waiting for us, and I mean the kids all the way up to age 70. And they're waiting, and they're yelling for Robo, Robo, Robo. So we are going to be a big star. As big as the Blues Angels. They're phenomenal. But we are a huge act here. We love to perform here, and we'll come back every year. We probably come back every 2 years, but we do it. We do it fairly economically for the Marines, but thank gosh for these Marines. These guys are the greatest. I don't know if you walked around. They're the most polite people. They're the most disciplined people, and they help you everywhere you go.
They
a couple of them are scary to when they say stop, you stop. But no,
you have like Robosaurus who's got your back, so you should be okay.
Well, we'll protect the border, and we'll protect whatever else you guys need us to protect, and we'll eat whatever you guys want us to eat tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we could do some trash compacting tonight. That would be great.
We could help clean up. You won't be able to drive out of here, but we'll get the car out of here.
All right. We'll keep that in mind. Brooke Dunn, a pleasure to meet
Absolute
you.
Pleasure.
It sounds like it's going to be a spectacular show. Robosaurus coming to a Miramar Air Show near you. Now let's run down some of the particulars so you know what to expect for tomorrow, because, parking is always an issue as well, so you want to arrive early. We've already heard that. Tomorrow and Sunday, the show is from 9 a.m. to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The Twilight Show is tomorrow night, and I got to tell you, the sunset out tonight is gorgeous. The weather is beautiful, so that might be a wonderful option for you. That goes from 5:30 to 9. And if you're looking for directions, parking, and rules, I definitely advise going to fox5sandiego.com and clicking on the Scene On button, because I got to tell you, it'll make your day run a lot more smoothly. Right now, though, we want to send it back inside to the Fox 5 studios, and
Welcome back to Fox 5's special coverage of the Miramar Air Show. You're taking a live look right now from the ground at our 20-foot platform that we are on top of, covering all of this for you. We've got a bird's eye view of all the aircraft here. What a spectacular show this is. This is one of the biggest and best air shows in the entire country. And Kathleen, I don't know about you, but the sun went down just a little while ago, and I'm feeling a little shiver right now.
I know, I was going to say, there's also a little bit of a breeze up here. If you may have noticed, my hair's been in my face for half an hour, and it is a bit of a wind chill. And I know just the person who can tell us more about what's going on with this weather.
Let's turn it on over to meteorologist. Welcome back to Fox 5's special coverage of the Miramar Show. You are taking a live look at the F-22 Raptor. This is the pride and joy of the Air Force. This baby can go Mach 2, and what a beauty it is, and you can see it in action here tomorrow at the Miramar Air Show.
And I got to tell you, we saw the Blue Angels performance when we arrived here for the broadcast, and it is a sight to behold. So if the F-22 Raptor is even close to that neighborhood, boy, you're going to have an absolutely wonderful time if you come out here with your family and friends. In fact, let's run down the schedule one more time so you can plan your weekend. Here's another look at the air show's weekend schedule. It is 9 to 4 tomorrow and on Sunday.
The Twilight Show featuring the Robosaurus and the Wall of Fire is only happening tomorrow night. That is from 5:30 to 9. That's a great time to come out. The temperatures have cooled off a little bit, and it's a great time to see all the action. For directions, parking, and rules, all you have to do is go to fox5sandiego.com. Click on the Scene On tab. Have we mentioned the fact that this air show is free? So no excuses not to come out here and check out all the action.
In fact, the only charge is if you want special seating in the grandstand. That's something you can look into. And again, fox5sandiego.com has all that information for you. And you might want to check it out before you come out and assess the parking situation, because arriving early is recommended. Now, speaking of the morning, the temperature is going to be a little chilly in the morning hours. Saturday, 60 degrees, and we start out at 8 a.m. By 5 o'clock, though, about 76 degrees. So the weather cooperating nicely. A lot of beautiful clouds out here, so it'll be a wonderful backdrop. On Sunday, 64 degrees when you wake up at 8 a.m. and come on out. Gates open at 9, and 5 o'clock, 80 degrees. So we're in for a bit of a warming trend. It should be a wonderful weekend for all. It's been spectacular to take Fox 5 News at 6 live on the road here at the world-famous Miramar Air Show. Thank everybody here for giving us such a wonderful venue to broadcast to you live.
And we'll let Frank take it away. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. 2.5 minutes next.
Good night.